There you go, folks. I just fished that lovely little run of water there where I'm very confident there are trout, but I didn't catch any, and I was confident going in, but now I know the reason why. I wasn't getting down fast enough. There's little extra water in the river. We had a flood recently and the river's quite high, so I didn't have any of my depth charge nymphs. So if you want to know what a depth charge nymph is, stay with me for the next few minutes. So there you have it, folks. I failed to catch any fish in that particular stretch of water, flowing very swift, sort of waist deep or thereabouts, and I simply wasn't properly equipped. I had forgotten to bring my heavy nymphs with me. The nymphs I used for that particular type of water, I call them depth charge nymphs, and they're super heavy, very dense, get down very quickly down to the depth where the fish are at. So if you want to know how to tie the depth charge nymph, stay with me. Okay, folks, to tie the depth charge nymph, we're going to use tungsten beads. And the first bead is a gold tungsten bead, and it's 3 millimeters in diameter. And I'm putting that now on the size 14 hook. And directly behind that bead, I'm going to put another bead, which is a 2.5 millimeter tungsten bead. So already we have substantial weight on a very relatively small fly. Now we want to try as best we can to approximate the shape of a nymph, which is essentially carrot shape. It's thicker at the front and eventually gradually thins as we move backwards. So we've made a good start on that with the two beads. The thread I'm going to use here is uni thread in black and 8/0. Before I use any thread at all, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put some lead wire on behind the two beads, and needless to say that will add more weight. Break it off. So now there's a lot of weight in a very small package. So now you could at this point, if you want to put on a little super glue or UV glue or some form of glue just to hold the lead wire in place if you want. I'm just going to use the tying thread. So I'm going to start by running the tying thread gently over the lead wire. I don't want to squeeze or tighten down on it because I don't want to spread the lead wire. I want it to stay where it is. So now when I get to behind the lead wire, I start to create a little build up to maintain that shape. I just spoke about that sort of carrot shape. So I'm going along quite nicely now, and it's starting to take that shape. Now the next material I'm going to use is familiar to every fly terrier, no doubt, pheasant tail, and I'm going to pull out about 6 or 8 fibres, and I'm going to form a tail approximately half the length of the body of the fly. Now that tail isn't great because, as you can see, it's quite ragged. So what I'm going to do, I think I've been eaten by moths, so I'm going to get another few fibres of pheasant tail. Yeah, that's better. and again approximately half the overall length of the body of the fly. We tie in the pheasant tail just there. Now the next material is copper wire. I'm using this copper wire here as hens, but any copper wire will do. Yeah, tie that in just there at that point, and come in front to tie it down and make sure it stays where I want it to. Now just building up again just to maintain that shape, and now wind on the pheasant tail to just up to the smaller of the beads, and a few turns to keep it in place. And now the copper wire in the direction opposite the pheasant tail in open turns, and again tie that in just behind the bead. Trim off the waist. And a whip finish. And what I like to do at this point, just to make it ultra secure, I sometimes like to put just a little bit of clear varnish on the tying thread, and another whip finish at the same point, and that will make it a very durable fly. Now you could say at this point that the fly is essentially finished, and I catch fish with the fly like this all the time, but from time to time, just for a little variety more than anything, I like to add a little dubbing just here between the two beads. So that requires obviously retying the tying thread back between the two beads, and the dubbing I'm going to use is another magical ingredient, seal's fur, and I'm going to put on just a little collar of olive seal's fur, and the combination of the seal's fur and the pheasant tail are legendary really. And again, that's a quick whip finish between the two beads, and there you have the completed depth charge nymph. Now, if you ever happen to be fishing water like I was fishing in the little clip there, where you have swift flowing water and relatively deep, and you want to get down fast to where the fish are at, give this nymph a try, and I think, like me, you'll find it very successful. And thanks very much for tuning in, thanks for watching, and if you like what I do, think about subscribing, and good evening, Kate Orella, slán go forward.